Welcome to DHN. I'm your host, Wade Teamer. Hedera at 5 cents, that's a steal, folks. I remember 2021 when I was trying to buy into HBAR at 11 cents, 15 cents, 25 cents. It was getting out of hand. It was really getting out of hand. But in this video, we are going over the latest from the Hedera news feed. So we have HBAR looking to expand its reach with Korean banks, Circle and Hedera collaborating on digital identity technology. That's going to be interesting. Hedera's response to the president's crypto climate report, and some major activity going on with a couple of Hedera's governing council members. The first of which we're going to go over to the cloud to talk about. Archaea partners with the Google Cloud to accelerate the adoption of Hedera technology. Now, Archaea is a third-party infrastructure provider that often works with Google Cloud data. So, imagine Google is a river, bountiful, full of information. However, it is fixed in one location. Well, Archaea would be a tributary, allowing those who can't access Google Cloud directly to still take advantage of the technology. In this analogy, HBAR would be the water. What Archaea is going to provide is even more access points for large-scale development, which will enable more developers to build on Hedera in places where they couldn't before. You might be wondering, well, how is this important? Will it pump the price? Well, unfortunately, no. Not in the short term, but what it will do is give Hedera more resources to bring in builders of the ecosystem. Hedera is one of the better examples of what a utility coin is all about. These connections, although small, are crucial to the growth of a project. You also might be thinking, well, Google is already a partner with Hedera. Haven't they already had this ability? Well, yes and no. What Google provides to Hedera is more so for its consensus service and node validation. This deal with Archaea is going to bridge Archaea to Hedera to the Google Cloud. Perfect example, the partnership with Avery Dennison and the Atma.io platform. Using Hedera as the base, retailers can track and trace billions of products and store the information on Hedera's ledger. In Archaea's case, they are granting access to that ledger through Google language, allowing developers who build using Google to deploy those same functions and features on the Hedera network. That's huge when you take into account that there are, of course, a lot more developers fluent in Google's language than Hedera currently, but Archaea over time is looking to change that. So this is big. Next, we're going to jump into Hedera's expansion into Korea. In a recent interview with the creator of the hash graph, Dr. Lehman Baird stated that Hedera will expand its partnerships with Korean tech players and financial firms by leveraging its fixed, low-cost, and decentralized tracking and verification system. That's code for the hash graph. Now, we know hash graph already has partners in Korea in the form of Shinhan Bank, but this decision, this motivation is actually coming from the recent partnership with LG. According to the Korean Times, the Hedera network was less well known in the Korean market before the partnership with LG. Earlier this month, LG unveiled a non-fungible token trading platform in the US, allowing LG television owners who buy NFTs on the digital marketplace to display said NFTs in their homes. LG has built the LG Art Lab on top of the Hedera network and minted art NFTs using the Hedera token service. So the deal may not have pushed the price, but it definitely moved the needle with the biggest firms in Korea. That's important to remember because Hedera has already been very active in the area. Remember, December 2021, the Korean won stablecoin project. Utilizing the Hedera token service and Hedera consensus service, the bank minted a stablecoin pegged to the Korean won and conducted an international remittance in partnership with Standard Bank, a leading bank in South Africa. So things are heating up for Hedera in Korea. In addition, Korean views on crypto are very progressive. They are slightly further ahead in establishing guidelines and frameworks than we are, but nothing has been officially finalized. What I did find interesting is that it seems that they are waiting for a global, uniform set of standards before moving with regulation. This is something I have been seeing in multiple places. They state that better security in the realm of cross-border transactions is one of the reasons for this hesitation. So The stablecoin concept was addressing one of the major pain points for Korea. I would not be surprised to hear that Hedera is always in the conversation when it comes to establishing regulations because there's already a proven track record. Next up, courtesy of Hedera's YouTube channel, ServiceNow announced a brand new token on the Hedera network. It's called Renewable Energy Certificates. They are non-tangible assets that represent 1 megawatt of green energy. RECs allow companies to decrease CO2 emissions from energy usage and can be treated as carbon offsets in some cases. Now, these are two native HBAR tokens that focus on ESGs. We have Dovu, of course, which is one of their earlier tokens, and now REC. But what's interesting about all of that is the timing. We know that the White House just published a report on crypto and the climate. In it, there was a heap ton proposed as far as how blockchain could contribute to the reduction of greenhouse gases. This particular use case to me would suit the carbon credits marketplace, where the problem is not necessarily the tokenization of the asset, but the verification of who is tokenizing said assets. To lay over all of that, you have information like this from Global Data. They indicate that more than 400 companies have discussed the energy transition across their January to August filings, which is an increase of about 7% from last year. Oil and gas companies are carving out their own energy transition paths by investing in technologies, initiatives, and partnerships to accelerate the shift towards green and renewable energy. Companies across other sectors, including the financial services sector, are also discussing investments in infrastructures as well as potentially collaborating with energy companies to support the energy transition. It's the small details like those, folks, that keep pushing the adoption forward. And it always leads back to those SDG goals for 2030. That is why I am always ranting about them. Let's move on and talk about another subject related to SDGs. Digital identity, ladies and gentlemen. Circle, Hedera, and Stellar Lumens, okay? This story is interesting. I'm going to quote directly from the source here, courtesy of CoinGape.com. They state, payments technology company Circle on Saturday announced the creation of the first VeriWrite KYB, or Know Your Business, credentials that can be easily accessed on their MetaMask institutional wallet. During Converge SF22, which was a conference they just had a couple days ago, Circle announced a partnership with DeFi uncollateralized lending protocol TrueFi to offer its first decentralized VeriWrite KYB identity credentials. It also enables support to access TrueFi's permissioned lending platform using the USDC stablecoin. VeriWrite was introduced in February this year as an open source framework for decentralized identity, credential issuance, custody, and verification. The Center Consortium and Circle developed VeriWrite to enable institutions to participate and establish trust with others in DeFi and Web3. Institutions with Circle accounts and MetaMask institutional wallets can apply for VeriWrite KYB credentials. It enables web and mobile applications and smart contracts to verify permissions for businesses. Furthermore, Circle aims to issue free VeriWrite KYB and accredited business credentials for select early access customers. Several industry leaders, including Coinbase, FTX, Consensus, will support the VeriWrite application. Also, and here's the hitter, guys, Algorand, Hedera, Ledger, MetaMask, Solana, Spruce, and the Stellar Development Foundation all plan to collaborate on these identity standards. So, digital ID use cases can cover a wide range of situations, folks. In our recent report on Africa, we identified that digital ID is going to be one of the biggest catalysts in the coming decade. In addition to all of the ways it could accentuate the topics covered in this video, VeriWrite is a solution that Hedera can now use to, let's say, identify a company that wants to use those REC tokens in an open marketplace, or for a company in Korea that wants to do business cross-border. But on a grander scale, I always like to leave you with the bigger picture. One of the biggest players in the push for digital identity is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And they just put down $200 million towards digital identity infrastructure. This is on top of the $1.2 billion they already allocated since 2015. The latest funding commitment includes $200 million for the digital public infrastructure, which includes digital ID and civil registry databases. The $200 million is also earmarked to support interoperable payment systems and data sharing systems. That's what Hedera is. It's a payment system. It's a data sharing system. I'm not calling this a direct endorsement from Bill Gates, but this is the same guy that predicted a pandemic, and 8 months later, we had a pandemic. Continuing, the announcement accompanies the 6th annual Goalkeepers Report, which assesses progress towards UN Sustainable Development Goals and acknowledges that by most indicators, we're apparently well behind the pace needed to achieve them. Here is why I keep reiterating the SDG goals to you in almost every video, guys. Because again, I keep seeing it everywhere. UN SDG 16.9 sets a goal of universal legal identity as soon as 2030. Efforts to meet that goal have been tied to digital identity programs from around the world. Those are the use cases that will drive the adoption of crypto this decade. Digital identities, environmental social governance, SDGs, and instant cross-border payments. Hedera is one of the few projects that taps into all of those mediums. But what are your thoughts, folks? Let us know down in the comments. While you're at it, don't forget about the DHN Crypto Journal for 2023. Also, our Diamond Hustle members get access to exclusive crypto documentaries and education. Just click the join button under this video to learn more. And now, to all my Digit Hustlers worldwide, Spartans! You know what I want you to do. Have a great day. Have a prosperous day. And most importantly, if that money is digital, so is the hustle. I'll see y'all in the next video.